Hello fashion people. So you're making this under bust corset dress. It has a bust stitching in the course of this video. I'm looking at the pattern drafting, the cutting and the sewing aspects. Stay tuned. Yeah, alright, starting line, and here is going to be my starting point line for the vertical measurement. So I'm going to start by creating our by marking our shoulder slope. So from here I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inches for my shoulder slope. So here is 1.5, and I'll connect it together. So this is my shoulder slope. This is my shoulder slope, and then I'll be marking my neckline from a starting point line. I'm using, I'll mark the standard measurement first, which is 3 by 3, 3 inches width, 3 inches depth, and I'll be squaring it up. This I'll create my curve. So I'm trying to create the basic bodice block first before altering the design. And I'm going to working with a shoulder slope, a shoulder dart. So I'm going to be getting my shoulder divided by 2 inches, shoulder divided by 2, and I'll add an extra 3 inches to that for my shoulder slope. So you know, from here to here you mark 3 inches, so I'm going to pick the 3 inches to this point, and I'll take my tape to the shoulder slope, and I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2, which is this, and then I'll extend it by an extra 3 inches for my shoulder dart. This is 1, 2, 3. So this is it, and I'll connect it together. So this is it, and then the next thing I'm going to be getting my armhole depth. My armhole depth, can use your bust divided by your bust divided by 6 plus 2 inches. Let me do plus 1.5 first. So I'll do my bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Can do your bust divided by 6 plus 2 or plus 1.5 inches. That so works perfectly. So I'll be creating my shoulder slope from this point. I have mine to be 7.8, so I'm going to be marking 7.8 from the shoulder slope, not from the starting point line. So I'll mark my measurements, and I'll extend it this way, and I'll be connecting that with my ruler. This is my armhole line. I can mark it AL, that's my armhole line, and then I'm going to be placing the remaining measurements. But first of all, let's take out our shoulder slope. So I'm going to be drafting only the front bodies for this particular video, because for the back bodies we only have a video on the channel for that. I'm only drafting the front because I want to alter the bust point. I want to give it a push up effect. So that's why you are trying to recreate the front bodies. But I have a video on the channel on basic bodies blog. Please do it to check it out. So I'll be getting this. I already drafted the back. So this is the back bodies. The video on how to do this on the channel is just as simple as this is basic bodies blog for the back. So I'll be measuring what I have here. You know, this is the shoulder, that's for the back. So I measure from the first dart leg to this. I have 2.3. Should be the same thing for this side as well. 2.3. That's what I have. So this is what I'm going to be using. So I'll measure from here to my 2.375, which is that what I have for the back. And I'll do the same thing for here. So when I measure what I have here, I should be having 3 inches. You get? So that is this. I'll measure 2.3, 2.375 from here. 2.375, and this is going to be my shoulder dart. But first of all, let me get my bust point, my nipples, my nipple to nipple measurements. Nipple to nipple measurements is 3 inches. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I'll mark it here. And I should be connecting this my shoulder slope to my bust point. So let's get our bust point. So from the shoulder, my normal bust point is 12 inches. Yes, but I'm going to be giving it a lift. So the bust point is 12 inches. I want to give it a lift. So I'll be taking out 0.5 from the normal shoulder to bust point. So the normal is 12 inches. So I'll be doing 11.5. That's the alteration I want to give. I want to give it a little bit of a push up. And then the under bust, so I'll be doing the same thing for the under bust. The under bust is 14.5. I'll give it 14 too. So I'll working with 14 inches for the bust point as well. So just a little bit of a push up. This is under bust, this is the bust point, and my half length measurement remains the same, which is 18 inches. Half length is 18. So I already gave a lift at the bust point and the under bust, just a little bit of a push up effect. And I'll measure the same thing for this side so I can be able to square it up. So I have 11.5 and I have 14 inches, and then my half length is 18. So this is it. So I'll be taking down the bust. Oh, the line is not straight. So I'll just straighten it up. It's not straight here. Yeah, so this is it. So this is my shoulder to bust points, my through bust points, and then this is my under bust UB, and this is my half length HL. So I'll be measuring the bust span, which is 3 inches. 6 divided by 2. I'll do the same thing for here. 3, 3, 3, and I'll be connecting them together. So this is it, and then I'll be connecting this shoulder slope. Hope you are following. So I'll be connecting this shoulder slope to the bust points, connecting it to the bust points. I mean shoulder dart, sorry, I'm connecting the shoulder dart to the bust points. This is it, right? So I connected it to the bust point, and now we have our shoulder dart. Then the next thing, let's try and create our armhole. Our armhole. Let's create our armhole. So from this armhole line, I'll be going up to get my chest measurement. I'm going up by 2 inches to get my chest measurement. So this 2 inches is constant for all sizes. So I'll connect my lines together, and on the chest line, that's where we're going to be doing our cross front. Now there's a cross front and there's a cross back. So I'm doing my cross front, or you can also cut chest measurements. You can take the measurements on your client, but if you do not take it on your client, use this calculation. Do your shoulder, use your shoulder minus 2 inches divided by 2 inches. That works. If you didn't take it on your client's body, you can work with this. And then what we have, we're going to be taking it from here. Let me label it chest line, our cross front chest line. You can call it a cross front XF. So I'll be taking the measurements from here, from this point. I'll stop on the first dart leg, and what I have here, I'm going to just pick it up and continue my measurement from the second dart leg until I have what my cross front is. So my cross front is this 6.875. So this is it, and now I'm going to take the same measurement, just connect a straight line downwards to the armhole line like shown, and then I'll connect a straight line to the shoulder point like so, and then I'll try and create my curve now. So to create our armhole curve first, we'll be getting our bust circumference divided by 4. So my bust divided by 4, because of this dart, I'm going to add plus 1 inch to it. So that's going to be your bust divided by 4 plus 1 inch. That this only applies to the front body because of the wideness of the shoulder dart. So I'm going to be placing the measurements here. This is our armhole line that I'm placing the measurements on, or which you can also call bust line. So this is what I have. So with this now, I can create my armhole curve. I can tilt my tape to get the whole 3 points, which is here, here, and here. But if my master pattern couldn't get the 3 points at once, I'll connect it one after the other, which is from here to here, and which I'll connect from here to here, and blend that any pointy edge. So I'm just going to connect it this way. I'm going to do it one after the other, and then I'll connect this way. Yes, and just blend this in if there's any pointy points at that area. So here we'll continue with our measurements. So we are going to be contouring the waist for this. And so from the thumbnail, the waist was cinched and it has the boning. So there are two ways to do this. You can either subtract minus like 3 or 4 inches, depending on how you want to tighten your waist before placing the measurement, or can you work with your actual waist and then place that in between to and take out the excess. If you get what I'm saying, assuming you want your waist is 32, and you can place my waist divided by 4 here, and I'll connect it with a straight line, and I'm placing that in between and be tightening it, like taking out the excess, depending on how I want it to be tight on my body. Or I can minus, like assuming I'm working with 32, my waist circumference, my actual waist circumference is 32, and I want it to be tight, and I want to be working with 28 inches. I can do the 28 inches divided by 4 directly and place it on my fabric. I think I'm working with that. So I'll work with the snatch to waist measurement. So my actual waist here is 30, but I want to work with 28.5. So I'll be doing 28.5 inches divided by 4, and that's what I'm going to be placing. So divided by 4, and I'll be placing plus an extra 2 inches for my dart. So this is my half length. I'll be placing that. So I have 7.125 plus 2 inches. That should be giving me 9.125. and this is 9.125, and I'll connect it to this. So I'll still be taking out the excess 2 inches that I added to it. So everything I'm going to be taking that out. So and then let's continue. So I'm going to take this down to the waist area. So I'm going to extend this by 8 inches to get my hip line, I mean my hip area. Then for I will now know the actual length I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to extend this by 8 inches to get my hip line. So this is going to be my hip line. I can mark it hip line, and then I'll extend this bust span measurement to the hip area, which is 3. Look, if you have any questions on the course of this video, do it to ask in the comment section. So I'll just connect it like so. And then let me take out the 2 inches so that avoid confusion. So the first 1 inch is going to be my dart. So half inches on both sides, and I'll come down from the bust point by 1 inch, and I'll connect my dart to this line. So first of all, we're taking out the first 1 inch, remaining 1 inch. So have our actual waist measurement. So this is it, and I'll taking this down to the hip. I'll come up by 2 inches from the hip line, and I'll connect this dart downwards. So here we are done, and then we are left with 1 inch. So I'll just measure the remaining 1 inch from this dart leg, and I'll go inwards like this. So this 1 inch, I'm going to be taking it out. I'm going to use it when I'm tightening the under bust. I'm going to be connecting to the tightening of the under bust, and here I'll let it go up by 1 inch from this side as well, and I'll connect it to here. This is going to be my actual waistline. So this is it, and then coming to the hip, because I'm going to be taking out this 1 inch again, because this 1 inch excess is going to go downward. That's the line I'm going to be using to take it out when I do my under bust contour. So I'm going to be placing the excess 1 inch here and here, and I'll be connecting them together like shown. So I'm taking it down. So I'll be placing my hip circumference now. My hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch, which is this 1 inch here, and I'll place it on my hip line. What I have 12.125. So I'm placing 12.125 here, and I'll be connecting it to this waist. So this is what we have. So now we're almost done. Let's just do our under bust tightening, and that is it. So I'll be doing my under bust tightening now. So I'll be doing my under bust divided by 4. Under bust divided by 4. What I have, I'm going to measure from here to the first dart leg. I have 2.9 here, so I'm going to lift it up and continue from the second dart leg and measure what I have. So what I have here is 8. I have 8 to be my under bust divided by 4. So what I have in excess, I want to measure what I have in excess. What I have is 1.375. That's what I'm going to be using to contour the under bust. So I'll come over to this side. I know I have 1.375. I have 1.375. So from this dart leg, I will take out, I'm going to take out the 375 here. 375. I mean, I'm left with 1 inch. So from here, I'm going to take out the remaining 1 inch. So I'll be connecting this to this dart leg as shown, and I'll be connecting this to this. So we have taken out the 1 inch now, connecting this to this, and then I will be forming my curve. Connect this to the bust point like shown, and I will form my bust curve this way as shown. So this is it. So now we have contoured our waist, our under bust, and our pattern is ready. So the next thing is to do our styling, and that is it. But first of all, let us blend in our shoulder darts. Okay, some people just do it like half inch and they go like this, but I would like to do mine this way. So from the bust point or shoulder to nipple, I'll just fold it in. I'll just fold this in this way. So I'll fold this like this. Then I'll be blending in the shoulder. Then from this point, I'll pick up this dart leg as shown. I'll pick it up this way. I'm creating a crease line on the line on the shoulder dart. So I'll just create this crease line like shown, and I'll pick it up and I'll use it to cover up this second dart leg here. So this is it. So now I can blend in my shoulder. I'll get my ruler and I'll match the 2 points, this point and this point, and I'll connect them together. This is the way of this is the way of blending in my shoulder, dart. So this is now the actual shoulder line. So the next thing I'm going to do is because this paper is on fold. Now we folded this in, and I want this line that I just drew to show on the other side. So I'll be using my I'm going to use my tracing wheel. I'll just trace it so that it's going to be showing on the paper beneath. Get. So this is it. And then I'll open it up. You can see the crease line. So I'll just connect the lines together. So I'll just make it visible now. So this is it. So this is our new shoulder strap. I'll just extend this dart leg upward a little. And this is it. So now I'm going to be forming our curve. So for the design, when you come from the under bust, I'm going to be creating a line. So I'm going to be changing my color marker. I'm going to be using a red marker to create the actual style line now to avoid confusion. So to create the style line, you will notice that from here it went upward this way. So I'm going to come to my under bust and I'm going to be going up by 1 inch. I'll be going up by 1 inch from the under bust, and I'll be connecting this to this. So I'll just slant it in this way. So this is the style line, and the style line, this one remains constant. This under button remains constant. So I'm just using a red marker and just make it obvious. So this one remains constant. So it's going to be all the way this way. And next thing, I'm going to be altering the neckline as well. But this, the neckline is giving a slope like this. I'm just going to go or in here by, let me say, 2 inches or 2.25, and I'll be slanting it into this. The depth remains the same, just the width that I'll be altering, and I will just slope it this way. Just connect it to the actual waist, actual neck depth, and this is it. So you're almost done. You can start to create a style line, or you can start to use your boning to create the style lines. You get, no, here with this we are using, you're not using the actual waistline. As we are using an actual waist circumference, I mean to say, I will create small lines this way, and I'll be creating that through this. That's what I'm trying to say. So this one is perfect for us now. So now I'm going to be reducing the hip length. It's going to be an inner corset, and then the lower part I'm going to be sewing it on top at the waist area, like for the lower, for the flare part of the gown. So but the inside is going to be couture like this. So I'm going to be reducing the length. I don't want it to get to the hip exactly, so I will stop here. So I went up by 2 inches from the hip line. This is where the length is going to stop, and I will just kind of curve it this way. So this is for the lower part, and then for this upper, for the upper part, I'm going to be blending out this pointy edge at the nipple point. Just blend it out this way, and then I'll start laying this road. So I'll be cutting this out. So I'm going to be altering the back piece as well, the neck area. So I'm going to be taking out the same thing I took from the front. From the front, I went inward by 2.625, right? By 2.25. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I will blend it inwards. I'll blend it inward like this. And then I'm going to be taking out this. I'm going to be taking out this dart, this shoulder dart of 1/2 inch. I'm going to come here and take it out. So that means I'll be cancelling this out because I've taken it out from the side, and I'll blend it into the armhole. Like this. And now this is our new armhole curve. So this is it, and I'll be, for the back I'm going to be using a zipper, so I'm not going to be using a corset loop for it, but I want to be taking out this dart too. So I'll take out the darts from the side. This is a dart of 1 inch, so I'm going to take it from the side 1 inch, and I'll connect it. Connecting it like this. So for the complete length, I'm going to be using it by 2 inches, just as we did for the front. I'm going to mark my 2 inch, and I'll be reducing it by the 2 inch as shown. And then I'll be connecting this downwards to it. So I'll just measure out what I have upward. Like I need to measure what I went up by at this lower part so that they will two be equal. Let me just say, let me just do 1 inch, do 1.25. So anyway, I'm going to redraw this line. So this is our new curve for the front. So I'm going to be repeating the same thing for the back. So I'm going to go by the side by 1.25 like this. Oh, sorry. So at the full length, I'm going to go by 1.25 like this, and I'll be blending it inwards. And I'll be blending it inwards also like this. So this is it. Let me cancel out that because I've already taken it out. And this is for our front, so I'll just add the necessary sewing allowances to it. So for this back, I'm going to be altering the neck area like this. As I said, I'm going to be using a zipper. So here I'm going to put a zipper here. This is my center back. This is my side back. So up here I'm going to be creating this. It's going to be a loop here, and it's going to go all the way like this. Just do that this way. It's going to go like this. And then here I'm going to be reducing here by 1/2 inch because there's going to be a loop here. I'm going to be fixing a button here. So I'll just reduce here by 1/2 inch like this. And I'll connect it like so. This is going to be our new style line here. Here remains the same. So this is going to be like a kind of a yoke. It's not yoke sharp. I'm going to cut it this way. You get. So here still remains. So I'm going to be using a zipper. So here it's still constant. It still remains. And then this is it. So I'll be placing my sewing allowances and I'll be cutting this out. So here I'm using 1/2 inch to turn this. And make this to be different. I think I'm going to cut this out and work on this before joining it here. So I'm going to be extending this line like this. So here's going to be 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Here's half, here's half, here's half, here's half. And this is our back. Our back is ready. So I'll be doing the cutting now. So for here I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch to the full length. Here I'll be doing 1.5. We'll do 1.5 here. And for the center, I'll do 1.5 for the center back as well. So that is all for the sewing allowances. Okay, I'll be covering this. I'll covering up the shoulder dart. So I'll be covering it up and I'm taping it down. I'm going to do that when I'm cutting it out. So let me place my accessory sewing allowances or seam allowances. So I'm here mixing 1.5. That's what I use for the front, for the back. 1.5. I'll be separating this. So I'm going to add in inch, half of an inch. So it's our UB into a half length. So I'm just trying to extend the measurement here so that when I cut it out, the label into this, so when I cut out, it will not be confusing. This is our center chest line or across front line. So I'm going to add half of an inch here, half of an inch to the shoulder, half of an inch to the armhole. Here is going to be on fold. It's going to be on fold. And down here, I'm going to be adding half of an inch as well. So now let's do our cutting. So I'll first of all scratch open this dart so that I can close up the shoulder dart. Cutting out the shoulder dart. So it's going to be a style line, you get. So I'm going to be cutting it, there's going to be a style line. So let's continue with our cutting. So I took out the tape and here, let me cut out the dart first. Or let's trim out the center front first so that we are sure that only everything that we have here is what exactly the thing that we need. So, and then I'll be cutting out the dart now. So I'll also trim this side. So I'll continue the way upward, but let me cut out this style line since you're already here. Or maybe let me complete. Yeah, let me cut out the style line, it's already here already. This is the under bust, so I'll be cutting it all the way to this side as well. So this is it. So this is, I'm going to be labeling this so that I won't get confused. So I'm going to be indicating that this is the under bust. I'm going to write under bust here to make me that this is upward. Then this one is down like this to get. So this is main our center front. And I've added half of an inch to this dart leg to join it together with this. So it's half of an inch as well. And here is down. So here is the full length. I'll just write full length so that I'm not get confused. Full length FL. So yeah, make sure you label yours. So once you get confused, so you're working with this, I'll put it aside and I'll continue with my cutting. Let me cut down this lower part as well. So here is our side front, and here is up. Just indicate this. So here is down and here is up. Okay, so it's going to be like this is your style. I'm going to be notching this. So when I'm sewing, I make sure this line align. And here is up, here is down. Though we will do it in full length sha. So this will also make me know that here is the complete, the lower part. And then I'll continue my cutting. Yes, this one is out now. Then let me cut out the darts. I'll be cutting out the shoulder darts. So this is the neckline. And then the shoulder. So I'll take out this. So I'm not working with this, is just the darts that we took out. And this is our center front. This is still the center front. So CF. Here is half of an inch for joining them together. Here is half of an inch. This is a little bit part of the shoulder. So here, that place is going to also be half of an inch here. And I join it together like this. So you see, so it's part of the shoulder. So here is also half of an inch. Here is half of an, I'm going to write half of an inch here too for joining the darts. And I'll continue my cutting this way. And pull. We're done with our cutting, so we'll be working with for the front. So we're going to be working with for the front. So this is it. This is all we need for the front, and then we'll go back to cutting our back. Let's keep this aside. Now we can cut this. I'm going to start with from the full length. So this is the armhole. Then focusing the shoulder, the neckline, and then cut out the center back, that's the slope, cut off the slope. So yeah, this is it. Now I'm going to be cutting out the style line. So I'm going to be separating this from this like this. I'm going to be indicating that this is up. Now this is the armhole side. I can write armhole L, armhole line there, and then this is our full length FL. Not to get confused, make sure you label. But when you're done pressing all this, you can get confused. So this is our side back, this is our center back, and then I'll be cutting out this side line. So I can decide to place this way and give it a notch, like extend this line here. So when I'm joining it together, I'll make sure I'll know that this is where this design is meant to start from on this paper. So this is it. So I'll just notch it like so. So just this line is going to help me when doing my cutting and sewing at the same time. So I'll just make sure I line it very well like this. Or you should do this before you cut it out, and then I'll just mark the line like this. So this is it. So when I'm cutting, I'm going to be notching here. Make sure that after sewing, these 2 points aligns exactly. So I'm going to be cutting out the style line now. So I'm going to be doing this way. So that was too deep. So this is the style line, and I will trim off this. So here now we are done. We're done with our cutting. Now you're going to go over to transferring them on the fabric. So we're opening the fabrics now. So I went ahead to cut it out, as you can see, using the necessary sewing allowances as indicated. So the video length is getting too long. I'm going to end this video here, and I'll be posting the sewing parts later. So please do subscribe and hit your notification bell on so that you can get notified when I upload the sewing parts of this video. And until then, I'll see you shortly. Bye bye. Remain blessed.